Do you have issues keeping your phone and other devices in place on the dash while you're overlanding or off-roading? Are you sick and tired of those cables running around, all that clutter over your dash? In this video, I show you my completely modular system to take care of this issue. And I also show you how I fixed all my power cord clutter. At the end of the video, stick around and I'll take you on a ride and show you that this particular system does not obstruct your view whatsoever as you drive. Hey there, this is Sam from Deep South Overlander, bringing you videos and content on overlanding, vehicle outfitting, as well as tips and tricks. If you're already a subscriber of this channel, thank you so much. Now, if you would like to subscribe, please do so. And if you do, leave me a comment below. I will answer all my comments. And if you have suggestion and feedback on the content of my channel, please do leave me a comment as well. Finally, before we get started, I will have in the description below those jump points or chapters, as YouTube calls them, in order to help you navigate this video a little easier. Also, I will write down a link for all the products that I used today. Now, those links are affiliate links, and when you do purchase through these links, a small commission does get to the channel. This commission is not paid by you, it is paid directly by the advertisers. It does help the channel. So thank you very much. Let's get started. Okay guys, so for this particular modular system that I chose, we are going to drill the dash. So if you're not okay with that, that's probably not the right system for you. However, for me, it's a really clean way of mounting the accessories. They hold perfectly in place, and I see nothing wrong with drilling the dash as long as it's done properly. As you will see later in the video, the result is very, very clean. It doesn't move, it doesn't obstruct the view whatsoever. This system uses the ram mounts. It also uses a track as such that is called a yak track, and I will leave description below on all the items. And then it uses these mounts. So as you can see, this track has what's called a T-channel, and this channel, these rack mounts or rack balls, if you will, then slide into the channel, and then they secure in place wherever you want. They make this track in various lengths. I'll give you the length of this one when we go in the car and start the installation. But for me, I can securely fit 3 of these balls on the dash and have several devices at once. They don't move, it's perfect system. On top of this this rail and the ball, you will use these arms, and they are called rack arms, if you will. They're made out of aluminum, and the way this works, your accessories have a mount on the other side, or a ball. So this one is for the phone. I'm sure you're very familiar with the rack, with the ram mounts. It has a ball. You fit the ball like this for the device, and then the other one will go like this. It's all tight right there, and when you tighten it, it tightens everything in place. You put your phone and everything stays. There is some adjustability. You can move it up and down. They make this arm in various lengths. They have medium, long, they have double articulated. So if you want it when it's on the dash, you can have one going like this to the passenger, one going like this for you. I personally have my phone closer to me, and then I have my rear view camera, which I have outfitted a special ball right here to go with, and it fits right there next in front of me, and that's perfect. So that's for the rack and the rail rather, and the holders for the different devices. From the electrical standpoint, what we will use is those little add a fuse. I'm sure you're familiar with those. They basically, you remove one of the fuse, you find the fuse that you want, most likely a 10 amp fuse, 5 or 10 amp fuse. You remove the current fuse, install this, put the fuse that you just removed back, and add another fuse which will lead to your accessory. So I have prepared 2 of those. And then finally, on either side of the rack of this yak track, this track, I will put 2 of these, and this will be in order to use very short extension cords to my devices, therefore eliminating all the clutter of all the long cords going to the cigarette lighters, so on and so forth. So I will drill the dash. Again, if you don't want to drill your dash, that's not for you. But when you do, and if you don't mind, this will be a very clean design. These are aluminum, they're marine grade, and they are 3.1 amp, 3 USB, as well as a quick charge. Okay, I will leave I will leave the link in the description below, sorry. So I have 2 of these. They come with their power supply. One goes to the positive. It has a little fuse, but we will use our own fuse, and then you find a ground. So 2 of these cables, 2 of these, and then finally you'll use some screws, and I will show you. To mount into the dash, you will use little screws like this. I prefer to use nylock nuts. They lock in place and they don't back out. And then big fender washers. You'll need 10 of them. If you use the same size track than what I used, you will use 10 bolts, 10 screws, 10 nuts, and 10 washers. And then you will use a drill bit, a 9mm wrench, a screwdriver, and then to remove the dash and all the radio and everything that we need to do, you'll want to use those non-marring trim removal tools. You can get those at Harbor Freight or Amazon for, $5-6. Okay, let's get in the truck and get started. Hey guys, welcome to the inside of my truck. So this is an LX470 2000, has the original stereo. First thing that we're going to need to do in order to do this install is remove this stereo surround here. It's very simple. All you need is one of these little non-marring trim removal tool, and you will run it around, and I'm going to show you. A good thing to have is also a Phillips head screwdriver. This will be to remove the actual head unit. And the other good thing to have is one of these magnetic trays. All the screws can fall inside your dash, and it's pretty nightmarish to go fish them if you don't have the right tool after that. So get yourself a little magnetic tray like this, a couple of bucks at Harbor Freight. When you remove a screw, you put it in there. It stays in there, no problem. We're going to remove this dash panel right here. So in order to do that, grab your little non-marring tool. It's really easy. There's one clip here, one clip here, one clip here, and one clip here. You do want to be careful. Don't use a screwdriver. You're gonna really damage the surround. Use this little tool. Put it here. It pops right out. You run it like this. Run it around. Run it right here, and it's gonna come right out. Okay. Sometimes these vents tubes do come out of place. They're clipped right here. They're clipped right here, so you want to make sure that they stay in place. When you have this removed, there's a couple of mollexes that you have to remove, or that's for the wire harness of what controls the AC and everything in your car. You have a little button here that you push, and then you pull the plug completely out. Right there. They are different sizes, and you only have one hole for each one of these plugs, so you can't mess them up when you put them back in place. Do this. There. When you're done with this, set it on the side. Oh, as you can see, one of my little vent actually fell. Really easy, you just, you kind of put it back in place as like such. Oh, mechanism goes in the bottom. Right there. You just don't want to mess with them too much. Okay, now that you're done with this, what you'll want to do is remove the head unit. It's really easy. You're going to grab a Phillips head screwdriver. I've already removed mine before this video, so that's why only 2 screws. But you're going to remove one screw here, one screw here, one screw here, one screw here. Super easy. Grab the screwdriver. Grab that screw before it falls in the dash. Trust me, you'll appreciate what I say. Stick it in the magnetic holder. Do the same thing here. Grab it, stick it in the magnetic holder. Now you grab the unit, you pull it out, it comes in one single unit. It's quite heavy. In the back of the unit, you'll want to remove the two different antennas. And then you have finally the whole entire electrical piece for the head unit. It comes with its own little plug. There's a piece on the top that you press on or release, and it comes right out. When you're done with this, you set it on the side. Okay, so now this is done. We have access to the entire dash or the back side of the head unit, and this is where we're going to install our track. So at this point, what we want is grab our track and then position it on the dash wherever we're gonna want it. I'm going to give you the dimension because I've already done it, function of this track, but if you do get a larger track, you'll have to move things. However, I am 5'9". I like to ride with my seat all the way high so I can see things better in the truck, and so I've positioned everything according to me. Evidently, you have to position things according to what you prefer, but I'm going to give you these dimensions. This track is 9 inches by roughly 1.5 inches, 1 inch and 5/8. Okay, that's the one that has 10 holes. It's made out of polycarbonate or plastic, and the company is called Yak Attack, I think, and I will leave a link in the description below. But where I position this is essentially in the middle of my dash, in the middle of this center console, and from a reference point from the front of the windshield, I have exactly 12 inches, okay? So it's 12 inches parallel to the windshield, to the end of the windshield, 12 inches from the windshield, and that's where I positioned it. So what you want to grab is some masking tape. It's going to be a case of measuring 15 times and drilling once, so make sure you take your time. And you're going to put some masking tape, put everything in place, make sure that you have all the measurements correctly, and then when you're ready, you can start drilling. This dash is basically a sandwich between the top portion, a void and some foam, and then a top portion which is made out of a hard plastic. So when you go and attach the track, you will use these button head, if you will, screws that will go through the entire dash, and then underneath, so the nut doesn't go through the plastic, you'll use a big fender washer. These bolts are 1 inch. I took stainless steel. I don't know if it was necessary. I don't anticipate having water inside the cab, but this being said, they fit nicely into the track, and they are flush and they don't, protrude whatsoever, so it's nice. Okay, so 1 inch. The little nut is a nylock little nut, and it stays in place. And so that's what you do. So when you're ready, you've positioned everything. You make sure that everything is correct. Again, the measurement is, for mine, is 12 inch, and 12 inch from the windshield to the outer edge of the track. And then, excuse the video moving, my dog just jumped in the truck. Hey Roscoe, you coming to take a nap? Okay. And then we are at 2 inches from the front edge of the track to the leading edge of the dash. So this is where I'm going to go. This is how I installed it. Again, make sure you install it the way you want. Once you're done, you grab your drill with the appropriate size drill bit, and you go ahead and you drill your dash. It's nerve-wracking, but if you've installed a snorkel on your car and you've drilled a 4.5-inch hole on the side of your car, that little hole isn't going to matter to you, I promise you. So once you have drilled that, you put the screws, you attach it. Okay, so I've grabbed my trusty driver. You're going to drive your screws. You're going to get them started. Then you're going to grab one washer, put it under, put your nut under, like such. The particular nut and bolt combination that I picked requires a 9mm wrench. You're going to grab that nut underneath, and then you're going to drive that there. Okay, that is secure. So when you have all 10 of these done, I guarantee you this will not move whatsoever. This track is in place forever. Okay, you may decide to apply as much pressure as you can or as you want onto these and tighten these bolts and torque these bolts however you like. I put a fair amount of torque, but not too much, because remember, this is plastic and underneath is plastic. So you repeat that 10 times. Okay, so I'm going to get you a little close now that it's the track is finished installing. So this is what it looks like on the top. And the reason why I have put it at 12 inches from the back of the windshield to the front is it's why it's the optimal position, and I will show you, is because underneath, okay, there is this portion right here, which is some sort of electronic component. And you cannot go with the track too far back, because as you can see, you will not be able to reach the bolts that are in the back. So this is what it looks like with the fender washers and the nuts in place from the underneath of the dash and from the top. So now I will show you how to put the ram balls and the arms and the accessories temporarily before we move on to the next step, which is drilling on either side right here a hole. There is plenty of space if you go and if you look underneath. There is plenty of space to drill around the back right here. The air vents go right here in this position, but there's plenty of space in the back to drill for your cigarette lighter plug on either side. Okay, and when we drill this is a 1 1/8 hole saw that we will use to drill that particular accessory. So I'll get that ready now and show you. So before I put this seemingly big hole to put this cigarette lighter right here in this position on the dash, so when it ends up it'll be flush with the dash, it'll be really nice. I want to put two, one on this side and one on this side. So this one on the passenger side, obviously for the passenger, and this one on my side for me. It'll give me three plugs, which will be perfect. Plenty of power. Now before I do that, I want to make sure that from underneath, and I will bring a smaller flashlight to show you, but I want to make sure that the vent, which goes right here, oh, it's upside down, I'm sorry, the vent that goes right here is not going to be in the way, and that there is enough space in the cavity above to not only put the plug in place, but also to make the electrical connection. So I'm really looking inside that cavity to make sure that there is enough room, and from what I can see, it's plenty. I'm going to take the tape measure and show you right now. Okay, so I've placed this slide here to show you the cavity from below, but essentially you have the hair duct that comes right here, where the piece that comes from the center console fits into, and above that there is plenty of space. If I take the tape measure and show you real quickly, I have about 1.5 inches before I get anywhere close to the duct. So it is going to be close. That cigarette lighter plug is going to end up right on top of the duct, but I think the duct, and I think it's going to be fine. So I'm going to take a few more measurements of exactly where I'm going to position the plug. I may go actually a little further past the duct. I don't want anything to interfere with this at this point right here where the front comes in into the back of the duct. So I think I'm going to go in relation to the top. I think rather than going next to it, I think I'm going to go more in the back right here. And I think if I go right here, I have plenty of room. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the measurement. I'm going to grab the actual piece itself, which is right here. I'll probably end up, putting it somewhere around here. I think that's where it's going to sit, right there. It does come with a cover, which is nice, but I think it's going to sit right there on the dash, right here. So wherever that is, that's where it's going to be. I'm going to take a measurement and then I will tell you what it is. I can't do it free-handed. I'm going to put the phone back onto the tripod and then I'll show you. So one little issue that I ran into is that obviously the hole saw stack with the drill stack is too much and I hit the windshield. So what I'm going to do, I've positioned the cigarette lighter plug right here, which is very nice next to the track. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a pilot hole through the center, and this is the ring that actually keeps the unit secure, and sandwiched. So I'm using that as to mark where my hole is going to be and find the center of that. So I positioned it right here. I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I think what I'm going to do, this is plastic, and this hole saw is brand new. It's very, very sharp. It's made for metal, so it's going to, be very sharp. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a pilot hole in the center, and then I'm going to use this basically by hand and putting a little bit of pressure like this. I'll probably use a socket or something to put on top, and then I'm just going to apply some pressure manually and just rotate this until it goes through the plastic. This is vinyl, and then the plastic underneath should be no issues, but it is something that I didn't really think through. An easy way would be to have a 90-degree drill, but I don't have one, so I'm not going to go buy one, although I could, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do that by hand, and I think it should be fine. I'll go ahead and pre-drill the hole, measure again for everything to make sure that everything is in the right place. Draw my circle where I want the plug to be, and I'll go ahead and I'll show you how I'm going to drill this by hand. We'll do it together. This is the part where some of you are going to cut the video because they don't want to see me drill my dash, and some of you are going to say, wow, this guy is ballsy. Well, I'm neither really, but I'm willing to give it a shot because that's what I want to do. Measured 3 times. I know where both of these holes are going to be end up. I've grabbed a 1/4-inch drill bit on my driver, and I'm going to put a hole right in the middle of these circles. Again, I've put the nut that goes on the back side of that cigarette lighter to sandwich the plug on the back side, and I've drawn a circle from the inside, which is the actual diameter of what it needs to be drilled at. And I have a 1 1/8 hole saw, and we're going to use that by hand. So I've positioned everything. I have double checked to make sure that it was at the right that it was symmetrical at the right place, so on and so forth. Now I'm going to drill a 1/4 inch hole in the middle of both of these circles. We're going to insert the drill bit from the hole saw, and we're going to start drilling the dash by hand. So here you go. Wish me luck. Guy, the point of no return has been reached. So once we have done that, the plan is to insert this and start cutting by hand like such. And it's going. It will cut the it is cutting. And is surprisingly, it's not making that much of a mess. I'm now into the foam of the dash itself, and I've reached the bottom of the foam. I can take it out and show you. So this is the foam, and if I take this, so this is the foam. I think we're gonna be fine. Where's my screwdriver? So this is the vinyl right here, the vinyl portion right here, and so we're going to keep doing it. I'm now in the plastic itself. I'm working the saw back and forth because those teeth are they're pretty aggressive, and they grab into the plastic. Yeah, it's gonna work nicely. So all I need to do is keep doing that basically. I suppose what you could do is find a socket, a small socket that fits this, and just use that, but I think by hand it's gonna work just fine. Yeah, I can feel the plastic already at the bottom. So I'm being very careful. I may just go get a small vacuum cleaner. I'm being very careful not to go too fast. It is not ripping the vinyl whatsoever. It's working out quite nicely actually. Here, I should put the light like this, maybe you can see better. Alright, it's almost done. There you go. There's the whole saw, went through. We'll remove it now. There you go, guys. It's really easy actually. I'll show you the thickness of the plastic itself. The dash is really not that bad, and that hole saw chewed through it by hand, no problem. So basically what happens next is, where's the plug? It's right here. What happens next is that plug gets inserted right here, right there. Look at that, perfect. Wow, this is so clean, so clean. Yeah, put the cap position in the back. Wow, and then you grab that little nut that's going to be on the back side of that. You thread it, I'll grab the camera in a minute and show you from underneath what it looks like, but it is absolutely perfect. I am so pleased. Plenty of room above the air vent to feed my cables. That's absolutely no problem. So I will do the and this is the little rubber cover that goes on top. This is perfect. So the idea is I'll have my short cords going from here to my accessories. It's gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna do the second one off camera, and when both of these are done and installed, I'll show you from the top view what it looks. Hey, quickly also, I wanted to show you what I'm doing to the leads at the bottom of the cigarette lighter. I'm actually bending them, right? They used to be straight up. I'm bending them slightly. And what that allows me to do is put the wires with the connectors won't be coming straight down, which would end up being kind of too close to the air vent. So by bending them, those wires come at an angle and they sort of spread out around, which will be a lot better. So I've drilled my second hole on the passenger side. I'm now going to insert that plug. I've cleaned it up already. And basically goes like this, right there. Such. I'm lining up the little rubber gasket that comes with it. I want to make sure that it's clean and toward the that it's aligned, basically. And then I'm going from under, and I'm putting that plug right there. Which basically serves as locking the whole mechanism. And so it will we'll lock the cigarette lighter against, sandwich it, the plug against the dash from underneath. Right there, I'm lining it up. And tightening it. And there you go. That's the final product. Well, almost. We're not there yet, but these are the rubber covers that go on it. But you can see how clean this is on either side of the track. So we'll go ahead and start wiring everything. We're gonna go around in here, shoot it across, and tie everything into the kick panel on the driver's side fuse box. I'm gonna grab a couple of fuses and add those little pigtail out of fuse devices that I showed you at the beginning of the video, and we're going to make the connection, put those hots, and then we'll be good to go. To run my wires, I'm just going to remove the top of the dash right here. That's really easy. It just pops right out, and then all you have to do is remove the Molex for the dimmer, for the dash dimmer. Put that on the side, and then that gives me access to this panel, which drops believe it or not, but there is some electrical that go in here that just drops. There is a 10mm on that side that you need to drop, that you need to remove, and that's that. So then I can just grab my cables and then go fish them right there. I'm going to fish them around the ignition. So I'm going to drop them both from below. Oh, that's one right there. And I will zip tie these together right here close so they go around the air vent, obviously, and don't interfere with the air vent. I'm going to push them like this, and that'll be fine. Alright, so those will end up around the vent anyway. So for the cable on this driver's side, I'm just going to tuck them on the side of the vent like this, and then go around and then feed them around the lip of the vent right there. And then I'll come across, probably from underneath, across right here, and then onto the other side. There's plenty of length to reach where I need to reach, so that shouldn't be a problem at all. So I'm just going to drop them right here. Yeah, pick them back up right there. Oh, is that fuse, that little fuse holder going to give me grief? Nope. Okay. All right, so they're right there. Swing that across. Across the other vent right here. Pick that back up here. I really don't have to do the both sets of cables. I could totally just make a jumper from one side to the other and connect, because these two are going to be connected together. And I have changed my mind. I think I am going to pick up a positive that is always on. A friend of mine suggested that I may want to do that because sometimes it's nice when your car is not on to charge a phone, and he's right. So I am going to connect these to a fuse in the accessory panel that's always on. Alright guys, I'm going to freehand this, so I hope that you don't mind. But this is to give you a little idea of what it looks like from underneath the dash. Okay, and then I fed those cables, went through across the dash here, and then went under the car right here, tied them up with zip ties. And this is the kick panel, the kick panel fuse box. And so this is where I'm going to tie them up, and I'm going to add a little adder switch. I just need to find a fuse that's corresponds to a circuit that's always on. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll tell you which one it is. Okay guys, so what we've done here is added a fuse. We used the adder fuse right here. I don't know if you can see. We ran all the cables and added a fuse, and then picked up a ground somewhere on the chassis, which was easy. And so now both of the outlets on the dash are live and ready to go, and they're always on. So I'm going to put the camera back, and we're going to go reassemble the dash. We've installed everything. Everything is wired up. Now all we have to do is reassemble the head unit, the dash, plug everything back in, and do a little bit of tidy up, and we'll be ready to go. So put the dash back on. We're going to put the head unit back on. You put the Molex, the main higher harness to that. You put both of your antennas back in like such, and then you're going to put this unit back on. Okay, so we have 4 bolts that go there, Phillips head. And this one is proven to be a little hard to go put it in. Looks like the bracket actually moved in the back, so we're gonna have to push it slightly. I hope you can see. Let me move you back over there like this. Alright, let me make sure that you can see. Alright, like this. Okay. So we're gonna go put this back in. Right there. One. 2, 3, 4, okay, so after that we have to put the main panel back on. I had popped one of my vents to take some measurements, so I'm going to put it back up in its position, clamp it like such, there, then we present the bottom. So again, all these plugs got to go back in. It's really easy because you can't mess it up. They all go to only one position. So put them back in place. All right, when you have everything back in place, you present the panel like such, and everything pops back in place, and that's it. So now we have this together. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to bring the accessory and we're going to put them on. I'm going to show you how it fits, and then we'll go for a drive. All right, so all we have to do now is install the accessory. So we're going to take little balls with the T-slot, the T-nut, slide it in, put it wherever you want. That's my cell phone. I usually put here. You tighten it, make sure it's tight so it doesn't move. Then I have, how many do I have? I have 3. I left one in the middle, which right now I'm not using. Put this one here. And then I have a third one, which I'm using for my rear view camera. I mean, this is solid, guys. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so this is for my phone. Again, I believe this is the shortest RAM arm that they use. It's aluminum with a double ball swivel, sort of. So you put it like this, you tighten it, and I can't show you the phone because I am filming with the phone, but basically when you're done, you grab your phone and you put it in there. So pretend this is the phone, you grab your phone and then you put it in there, and then it's perfect. Okay, and now I was wrong. Actually, that's the medium length. This is the stubby. This is the short one, and this one is not aluminum. This one is made out of plastic, but this is how I use it for my rear view camera. I'll put it on the ball right there, and my rear view camera is going to sit right there next to me. And before you tighten, you can adjust it on the ball, the height. As you can see, this swivels, right? So you can really adjust the tilt however you want it. But so you have it like this, and it's perfect. It doesn't move. It's oriented. When I travel, when I do some overlanding or off-roading and I don't need the rear view camera, I can take that off. And I can use the ball that's in the back and put another mount that goes either this way or this way and tilts toward me. Or I can move and use my iPad for navigation on the middle ball, and then have the passenger ball side to have a mount facing the passenger, and they can have their own entertainment or help me navigate. But for now, what I will need to get is obviously some small cords which they make, and then I'll plug right here and go straight into the phone. And then the ones for my rear view camera will go on this side with a short mount, or on this side and go behind and plug right here. So essentially that's the system, and it's perfect. Nothing is in my view. My phone actually sits a little bit lower as such, and I have it oriented a little bit toward me like this, and it's rock solid. It doesn't move, and I'll have the power right here. So let me tidy it up everything, and then we'll go on a ride so I can show you from my from my perspective what the view is, but as you can see, there is nothing in my field of view at all. I can see the bottom of the windshield right here, so it's not in my way. And even if I had an iPad, the iPad would sit right here and it wouldn't be in my way at all. So this is the system, super clean, super short cord that will go from here to here, no more clutter at the bottom. It works. So let's go finish this, tidy up, clean up, and then we're gonna drive. Preview of what it looks like from the inside of the truck. I had to get the iPad because I realized that I can't film with my iPhone and show you the iPhone at the same time. Duh. So hopefully this gives you a pretty good idea of what it looks like. Here's my rear view camera, and this is the view from the dash. So if I put the iPad exactly where my head is, which is right here, there is no obstruction whatsoever. And I have, as you can see right now, I have my phone and the rear view camera. Later on, if I want, I can add other accessories coming from here. Another arm. I will probably have a long arm going to the passenger side so they can put their own iPad for entertainment purpose or navigation and help me. And right now I still have to measure the actual distance between the plug and the various accessories to buy the correct cable. So I'm just coiling up my long cables right now. That's why it looks a little bit messy, but this is what it looks like from the top of the dash. Very convenient, very sturdy. And here, if I go forward a little bit, you can see, I mean, it doesn't move. It's perfect. It really is a clean install. My camera comes on when my hand crosses the camera itself. Alright guys, this is it. Hope you enjoyed it. Come back for more content.